Welcome to Scotty B's Fitness Journey Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Blomberg. My goal with this podcast is to inform and inspire others to start and continue their fitness journeys by sharing my story. Episode 2, Non-Scale Victories. In this episode, I discuss my approach to each workout and if that approach has changed. I also share some of my gym-related non-scale victories to show that progress is possible. I began this journey in July of 2021. I work out 6 days a week. I've improved my diet and incorporated intermittent fasting into my routine. I've lost nearly 90 pounds with the goal of losing another 60, which will get me to 250 pounds. My other goal is to be able to do a pull up someday. At 250 pounds, I think that's going to be possible. So, what's been my strategy for making progress? Well, I show up every day for the boot camp workouts, and I trust that my trainers, Al and Mel, have come up with the right workout for that particular day. The format is boot camps, which is interval training, intervals of, let's say, a minute, minute 15 seconds. They're a combination of strength and cardio and core. And the goal of boot camps, especially if we show up every day, is to hit the whole body. Some days upper, some days lower, some days more cardio than strength, and so on. Really, I've been very happy with the workout, and I like the variety a lot. What's been my mental approach is really just to don't stop. So if I've got that hour on my calendar, I'm just going to push myself until the hour is done. Only taking breaks when we're allowed to take a break. Try to push through each interval. Um, and don't take breaks within the intervals. Sometimes I have to modify and do something a little bit different, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep on moving. Push myself, but also aware of my limits so I don't get injured. That's been one of my big goals throughout this journey, is to make sure that I can show up each and every day, because if I get injured, well, that's going to hurt my journey and my progress. Mentally, how have I changed in the past 3 years? I think one of the things that I remember doing at the very beginning was thinking about each move, each exercise a lot. And I got a lot of feedback from the trainers on, right technique and so on. I think now, since I've been doing it so long, I don't have to think about each move. I can just sort of be in the zone, mentally, just attacking each workout, each move in that workout. Um, the other thing I noticed that's interesting in terms of my mental approach to it was, I remember when I first started 3 years ago, I would get to the gym early, like anyone else, like all of us with our phones. I would have my phone out and I'd be scrolling, I'd be looking at Facebook, I'd be, doing the normal, iPhone thing. And really was kind of not really thinking about the workout until, one of our trainers would show up and we actually kick off the workout. That just went away. I think within the first few months or so, all of a sudden when I got to the workout, even if I was early, I was in the gym. I was thinking about what the workout was going to be. I wasn't thinking about my phone. My phone stayed in my gym bag. And that's really the way it is now. So I think mentally I've just been more engaged in the workouts by making it into a daily routine. I've been really happy with my progress. And the reason I wanted to do this particular episode was to highlight some of my non-scale victories, because I think it is important to note non-scale victories. It's really easy to get focused on what that number is on the scale, but especially when one's goal is not only to lose weight but to become fit. And for me, it's to become fit by going to the gym every day, getting stronger. I have to note that, sometimes there's other victories that I really need to take credit for and not worry so much about always seeing that progress on the scale. So, um, so again, this is for me, and I would encourage everyone else is to take stock in what progress you are making, that that is not going to show up on the scale. Also, take note that if you're building muscle mass, that's going to weigh more than the fat you're losing. And so the when the scale sometimes goes in the, in the wrong direction, it's not necessarily for the bad reasons. So what are the victories that I look at? Well, let's start with the kettlebells. So the kettlebells are the weights with the handle on them that allows us to do various exercises like curls or a clean and press and so on. I recall when I first started, 10 pounds was my was my weight. A 10-pound kettlebell. Um, there's a picture of me doing a two-handed curl with a 10-pound kettlebell. It's kind of a funny picture because that's not a very big um, kettlebell, and I was a pretty big guy back then. Um, I was just noting this week that I tend now to grab 20-pound kettlebells for each arm. And so just a few days ago, I was doing curls with independent arms curls with 20 on each. So that's quite a bit of progress to go from 10 pounds total to now 40 pounds total. Um, I The second area that I note that I've made a lot of progress is jumping. So when I started, my knees were in such bad shape, and I didn't want to re-injure them, and I didn't jump at all. I did not let my feet leave the ground. But eventually, I was encouraged to do just little jumps, to do some um, jump squats, and eventually moved up to like a 3-inch box jump. Well, just recently, I was able to do an 11-inch box jump. I'm not quite up to the 20-inch that is the standard box for the gym, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Maybe at 250 pounds, I'll get up to that 20 inches. Burpees and up downs. So when I first started, I would not go down to the mat at all. And the reason was it took me so long to get up that, I mean, it literally would take an entire interval for me to get up. So I would try to do exercises that so I would not have to go down. And that eventually was able to change. I was able to get stronger and better and more mobile, and eventually started doing burpees. And if you don't know what burpees are, that's where you go down to the mat, do a push up, and then pop up. And because we're in Minnesota, I always like to do the skull at the end of a burpee. um, and so up downs are very similar, but it's like a half a burpee where you're just going down, up, which takes me to why that exercise, along with jump squats, are misnamed. It's not up downs, they're down ups. First you go down, then you go up. Jump squat, same things. First you squat, then you jump. Anyway, that's what I always give our trainers a hard time about those two. Push-ups. So when I first started, the only push-up I could do is on all fours with my knees. And even that was really hard because I had so much knee pain. I remember Al one time teaching me that I should, instead of being on my knees, be on my thighs. So that's how I did push-ups probably for the first year or so. Well, now I can do push-ups. I could probably crank off 50 or 60 push-ups at a time. So I'm really happy with that progress. And these are regular push-ups now with my toes touching the mat and legs straight. So very pleased with that. And then the last one victory that I want to talk about is pull downs to pull ups. As I mentioned, one of my goals is someday to do a pull up, which means I will be able to pull up my entire body weight. I started tracking my progress, I think about a year ago, and I weighed around 340, and I was able to do a 155 pull up, or pull down rather. And I've been tracking my progress since then. Right now, I weigh around 310. And a few days ago, I was able to do a 220-pound pull down. So one weight going from 340 to 310, and my pull down weight going from 155 up to 220. So I want to continue that trend. My goal is that those two numbers cross at 250, and I'll be able to do an actual pull down. So, what's my plan for tomorrow? Show up just every day, keep on doing it. Uh, try to continue to inspire others through this podcast, through interaction with other people at the gym, try to make it fun every day. So there's my episode 2 of my podcast. Thank you for listening or watching. Good luck on your own fitness journey. And as always, if there's any way I can help, please reach out. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.